Hey everyone! Today we are going to tour Palazzo Bo. It's a really nice Saturday afternoon here in Padua, and there's a market going on in Prato della Valle, so the city feels super lively today. There are a lot of people outside, a lot of plants, random things being sold, and it's honestly a really nice atmosphere. Normally, I would stop and look around a bit more, but today we are heading straight to the city center because we are going to visit Palazzo Bo. Palazzo Bo is the main historic university building of the University of Padua. It's a very important and very historic place, and a lot of tourists visit it. But at the same time, it's also still connected to university life and used for certain events. Since it's located right in the city center, I'm going there by bike. Let me talk a little bit about University of Padua itself. It was founded in 1222, so it recently celebrated its 800-year anniversary. It's the second oldest university in Italy and one of the oldest universities in the world. Padua is really a university city, and Palazzo Bo is right in the heart of it, located in the historical center just across from the city hall. Palazzo Bo actually was not originally built as a university. The name comes from an old hotel called Hospitium Bovis, or the Ox Hotel. That is where the name Bo comes from. Later, around 16th century, when the university needed a more permanent headquarters for administration and teaching, the building was bought and transformed into part of university. As soon as you enter, you see the old courtyard. It's one of the most recognizable parts of Palazzo Bo. One of the first things you notice is how decorated the place is. There are drawings and decorations everywhere on the ceilings and walls. These are not just random decorations, they are coat of arms, a type of emblem made to represent students and graduates who studied here. What's interesting is that you don't only find this inside Palazzo Bo. If you walk around Padua, and especially around older university buildings, you can find many traces of this tradition. At the time, the University of Padua was under the influence of Venetian Republic, and you can also see the history in the symbols here. For example, you can spot the ox skulls, which refers to the name Bo, and also the winged lion of Venice, which was a symbol of the Venetian Republic at the time. This courtyard is also where many guided tours start during the week. Near the courtyard, there's the ticket office where you can buy your entry ticket. And inside they also sell university merchandise and souvenirs. It's actually pretty nice to have a look there too. As you continue walking, on one side you can see a newer part of the complex that was added later. But nearby you can also still see parts of the original wall from the old hotel, which have been very well preserved. From here, the tour really begins. You go upstairs, passing frescoed walls and decorated corridors, and then you enter the section connected to the rector's office. This is area where the rector of the university works. During the weekdays, it is normally closed, but on the weekend, because the administrative offices are not in use, visitors can actually see them. It's very elegant space with reception areas, resting areas, and even a dining room. It feels both official and very historic at the same time. Next to the rector's room, there is also the old archive area of the university, where many historical university documents are kept. It is also sometimes used for presentations, seminars, and academic meetings. And here you can see the list of students graduated on each year from the medical department. As we continue, we arrive at one of the main highlights of Palazzo Bo, the Aula Magna. In English, this basically means the Great Hall. Originally, this space was the dining hall of the old hotel, but later it became a lecture hall, especially for the law school. Today, regular lectures are no longer held here. Instead, it is mainly used for important ceremonies, special seminars, and official university events. It is full of coat of arms, decorative elements, and symbolic paintings. So visually, it is one of the most impressive rooms in the building. In the center of Aula Magna, you can also see the symbolic paintings representing the major fields of knowledge. These figures represent the main academic disciplines of the university from the beginning, including theology, philosophy, medicine, law, and mathematics, which were considered fundamental at the time. We move on to another very famous room, the Sala dei 40. This room is dedicated to 40 of the most important international students who studied at the University of Padua. What is interesting is that the people represented here are from outside of Italy, from different parts of Europe. You can see figures from England, Northern Europe, the Balkans, and Russia. Since we study medicine, there are a few figures here that are especially interesting. One is Johann Georg Wirsung, the German physician who studied the function of pancreas. Another is William Harvey, one of the most famous names in medical history, the English physician who described the circulation of blood. There is also Thomas Linarch, another important English physician who later founded the Royal College of Physicians in the UK. And inside this room, you can also see the podium or platform that Galileo Galilei used during lectures in the Aula Magna, since he was also a professor of Padua at the time. From the Sala dei 40, we continue through the corridor and enter an area called kitchen. The name can sound a little weird, but historically this was the room where bodies were prepared before anatomical dissection. Before being brought into anatomical theater, the body would first be handled and prepared here. And then we arrive at one of the most famous places in Palazzo Bo, the anatomical theater. This is probably one of the most extraordinary places in the whole university. It is the oldest surviving permanent anatomical theater in the world, and it is made entirely of wood. Visitors cannot freely walk inside the structure itself because of preservation reasons, but you can still enter the space and look up from below. It really gives you a direct sense of connections between the history of medicine and the present. After that, we move on to the Sala di Medicina, the Hall of Medicine. For medical students in Padua, this room is especially meaningful because this is where medical students graduate. One thing that is very interesting at the University of Padua is that graduation is not done in one big mass ceremony like in many other places. Instead, students graduate individually. They come into this room with their family and friends, present their thesis in front of professors, and if everything goes well, they receive their degree here. The students sit at the front here. The professors are seated facing them, and the family waits behind. According to the university, medicine is only one of the only 2 degrees that still graduates in this way, and law is the other. The law students graduate in another room, the Hall of Jurisprudenza, which is also decorated with a beautiful frescoes painting. Then, as you walk down the staircase, you come to the statue of Elena Lucrezia Cornaro Piscopia, who is remembered as the first woman in the world to receive a university degree. So yeah, that was the Palazzo Bo tour. If you ever had the chance to visit Padua, I really recommend you coming here. It's not just a beautiful building, but also a place where you can really feel the history of the university.